Warning! The following video may contain flashing images. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hello one and all, and welcome back to Put It to TSET. Yes, it has been a while since we've done one of these, isn't it? So today we are looking at a series of SNES, Super NES, SNES style controllers. That obviously aren't controllers. As you can see, they're clearly not connected to anything and have hinges on the back of them. And of course, if you've read the title of the video, you know exactly what's going on. Anywho. So, basically, if anyone knows me and my preference for old toys, I have a fandom for micro playsets. And this was true many years ago, as it is today. And so, when I happened to cross these beauties in the wilds, I just had to get them. What are they? Well, besides being SNES controllers, they are, of course, indeed, micro playsets. They are Street Fighter micro playsets. Yep, come on, stand up, you little... It'd be so much easier if I just put it down, wouldn't it? So, let's take a closer look at these beauties. So yes, they came in 3 varieties that I am aware of. There's no saying that there weren't more, it's just that I can't locate these for love nor money online or anywhere. It just so happens that I've literally found these way back when in one of the toy shop, cheap shops around my way locally. And I also managed to find someone who had a couple of other sets locally that were just getting rid of them, so I happened to get a couple more of them. Exactly the same characters in them, nothing new there. So yeah, I honestly know nothing about these. There's no serial numbers, dates on them, branding, there's nothing. It is all literally generic Chinese tat from the 1990s. If I'd kept the card backing, it would have been nothing. This was before branding was a big thing and putting names and logos and things. And it was literally just a blank bit of card on the back. On the front, I think it was blue with a picture of Ken and possibly the Street Fighter World Warrior logo. I can't remember off the top of my head to be sure, but it's that time frame. And so that's kind of what we're looking at. So each of them came with, obviously, a SNES playset container. They also came with 2 characters and a selection of little gubbins, most of which I think I've lost. Because to be perfectly honest, I'm not even sure because I've got some dumbbells here. Let's see if we can get those in frame. And I don't think they belong to the Guile set, as I'm calling it. I think they went to the 9 bar, which the 9 bar, sorry, which didn't have a Balrog, which seemed weird to me. So I think they might even go with that. And I'm sure there was another one of these somewhere, and this came with a crate as well as just a bench. I've lost the bits to time, unfortunately. I'm sure I have them somewhere. It's just a matter of locating them all. And yeah, it was a few little accessories, nothing massively major. I mean, you could recreate your favourite Street Fighter moments of crashing into, say, like a barrel and breaking it, you know? So, you know, it's nice little bits and pieces. And, you know, for the money that we paid for them, I'm fairly certain we got a decent deal out of this. Which is why I ended up getting all 3 of the little blighters. So yes, this is the, what I'm considering the Balrog set, because it is the Balrog stage. Also known as Mike Bison in Japan, of course. It definitely came with a set of speakers, 2 of those little blighters, just little hard plastic, hollow at the back, not too shabby. The actual playset itself is rather nice. It's a nice little bar with the people suited and booted in the back. You can see the casino sort of background behind them. We've got some little bottles, some cupboards, some stools. And then on the base, because the base has been done as well, top bar. I'm not quite sure what these are meant to be, but they're there. And we've got the steps up to the bar. Not necessarily the greatest thing in a bar, I might add. So these figures come in 2 parts. They're not meant to be pulled apart, but that's obviously how they were made and manufacturing costs were kept down. And essentially all of them have this thing. The only difference being the Chun-Li figure where the peg is on the top rather than the bottom because of, well, the shape of the legs, as I'm sure you'll see momentarily. But yeah, this little E-Honda, I presume based on the Championship Edition from Mega Drive. I can't remember off the top of my head with the gold and white. But it's not a common colour scheme you see for Honda, but obviously they've picked a game and they've gone with it. It's not a bad representation. I think I've worn some of the paint away, but overall, this is a pretty good knockoff. A pretty funky little bootleg, I have to say. The Bison is not quite as impressive, unfortunately. The outfit, I don't know where all the silvers come from, but you get the basic representation. I mean, the hat's nicely moulded. This is all really hard. Well, I say really hard. It's rubberized. It's rubberized, so there's a bit of movement to it. Hello, Bison. Fuck off. And yeah, so it's, you know, they're nice. They're not bad representations of the characters that they're ripping off. I mean, these are definitely not Capcom licensed by any stretch of the imagination. Not by any stretch of the imagination. And so they're pretty cool. In fact, I can prove to you they're not Capcom licensed by any stretch of the imagination because I have an actual Balrog. Yes, a licensed official Capcom Balrog in a similar sort of style. It's rubberized in the same sort of fashion, slightly stiffer rubber, I might add, but you can clearly see a comparable size difference. And the fact that Bison will come apart if I hadn't glued him, but Balrog doesn't. He's one whole solid lump of rubber. So yeah, he would not fit in this set at all. He probably would fit in, just about squeeze him into the playset and be able to carry him along, but to be perfectly honest, yeah, it's not accurate at all. So definitely bootleg. But as you can see, I mean, let's get a real close up on this Balrog fella, right? Even the official licensed characters at the time in the 90s were not spectacular. Hello? There we go. I mean, look at the state of his face. They've tried to get all the growl lines and everything, but really, honestly, he's not looking the happiest of fellas. In fact, I have another one of Zangief, which, you know, as you can see, is on a similar level of Honda with the facial features. He's not too far off and just as detailed. So I would say whoever was designing these bootleg versions had a really good grasp of what they were trying to get hold of, and I'm really quite impressed. Moving on, we have the Guile stage, which is not exactly accurate to any of the games because there's a freaking great big brick wall here and a fence, but you've got the you know, you've got the guys and the girls cheering off at the airfield, you know, and a bit of the fence, and then also on the bottom you've got your, you know, not quite tarmac, but you know, you can get the idea. It's like an air base with some barrels. It's quite neat. It's quite neat. The characters in this one, of course, being Lieutenant Guile himself, who looks absolutely dreadful. I don't know what they did with that face there. It's just, obviously they were more worried about the hair than anything, and even then they managed to get that slightly wrong. Yeah, but it's not the worst thing I've ever seen made from, you know, knockoffs. And this Chun-Li is not too shabby either. The fact that she's quite top heavy makes her a pain in the butt to stand, and the buns, I don't know what they did with the buns. They're not rounded, they're pointed, just like she's got horns. But they're not terrible. I mean, they're not worse things. I mean, by comparison to the Capcom standard with Chun-Li, there's a massive world of difference. A huge world of difference with these ones. So, yeah, they kind of let themselves down there. But, oh, I've dropped up. She's gone. She's drunk. But again, they're neat. I can't fault them. The paintwork is actually really quite on. I mean, there's a lot of detail in Chun-Li's little dress there with the yellow lining. And the eyes are not too badly done on her, to be perfectly honest. A little bit of lipstick. There's a little bit of silver just on the collar where she's got a little bit of a gem going on. And it's not too bad. Paint all the way around as well. It's not even like, you know, half-hearted. It's really, you know, for a knockoff job, they've really put some effort into it. Absolutely. Lastly, we have the Blanka stage, which again is odd because it's got fences in it. I don't recall fences. I remember there being some huts, but not necessarily fences. Nice trees, a bit of a Sahara background rather than a swamp one, but okay, fair enough, not too bad. The characters there look more familiar for the Chun-Li stage, personally, but they're quite nicely realised, to be perfectly honest. Someone's had to go back and redraw these, and they're pretty nice, actually, as things go. On the base, you've got yourself a standard swamp. I don't recall seeing many crocodiles or alligators in the game, but I like the aesthetic here. They're fighting on a floating board with rocks on it. I don't quite know how that works, but it's interesting. And the fact it's not water, it's swamp, and there's skulls, it fits. It's not accurate, but it fits and it works, and it's quite neat. So in this set, we have we have ourselves a Ryu, who for some ungodly reason is wearing silver and red. Now, I can't place this colour scheme. I have no idea where this colour scheme has come from. I mean, maybe they were trying to mix and match Ryu and Ken, where they were trying to avoid licensing issues, but at the same time, like, the whole thing's a freaking knockoff and a bootleg. I mean, what difference does it make at this point? Whether it's red or silver or white or I don't know. I just don't know. Fine, stay on the floor, Ryu. I actually got there. And of course, lastly, the final character is Blanka, who, you know, given the fact that he's got this unique mould, is fantastic. Can we? There we go. Just about managed to get him. He's got more of a beard going on than I recall him having, but I think that's them trying to replicate the chest fur, and someone's not quite got that right. But yeah, no, he's a really, you know, again, another one that's quite top heavy and makes him a bit of a pain in the butt to stand up, but they're not terrible at all. I really, really like these. These are very neat. So yeah, these are the Street Fighter knockoff SNES mini playsets. Again, I'm not quite sure how much I paid for them, or rather, parent paid for them in the end. They were, but to be perfectly honest, I'd pay, you know, a tenner now for something like this. You'd expect to be paying at least if it was a legitimate product, you'd expect me to pay at least a tenner for this. These knockoff ones, I might pay a £5, possibly more for, because they're still really neat. They come with a lot of little accessories, 2 decent quality rubberized figures that have a decent representation, reasonable moulds, decent colouring and paintwork. The backdrops are fantastically done, lots of hard work's actually gone into this knockoff thing, and the fact that they display lovely on a shelf as a SNES controller is fantastic, and you can take them up, pick them, and they can go anywhere. And plus there's additional play value where you can pretend you're actually playing the game. Aha! I love it. Absolutely adore these things, and please, if anyone's got any more information on these, I will gladly update the comments section with any new information I find on these. And if anyone knows any other of these that have been produced that I don't own, let me know, because I want more. I want more. I still don't know how to own these things, so I'm just going to you lose, because you don't own them, I do.